So for this morning's 30-30, we'll start with a practice we haven't done in a while, which is the thyroid pranayama. This was a sequence shared with me by my teacher, Julia. It's somewhat of what she would call a Julia-infused sequence, which is focusing on the thyroid gland. So the thyroid gland is part of the endocrine system. Just to give it the highlight, is about balancing our hormones and our metabolism. And essentially the endocrine system communicates the glands of the body, and our glands are throughout our body, but they speak to each other. Julia has always commented that it is the internal Wi-Fi of our body. So if you think about Wi-Fi being everywhere and your ability to communicate between people and businesses and all the things that go on in your world, consider that internally there is a system that is communicating within your world. So when something is a little bit out, something else might take over, and there are intuitive balancing acts going on within your body. So take a moment and close your eyes. Throughout the practices this week in asana, we've been adding in an in-out breath. So if you haven't partaken in any of those practices, it's a double in through the nose and a steady out through the mouth. And that's how we'll start today. Exhale fully. In, out. In, out. One more. Then breathe in for 4, 3, 2, pause at the top on 1, and exhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Do that again. In for 4. Exhale for 5. One more. Gather your hands at your heart center. As our focus of this part of the endocrine system is the thyroid gland, know that the communication between the pineal, the thyroid, the pancreas, the lower organs of the body all occur through this somewhat unknown but known system. So through our bloodstream, from the brainstem, and there is a constant communication occurring within your body, one in which we often don't even notice. And the autonomic nervous system, the auto system, the things that happen without us even needing to think about. But we can impact and adjust and make shifts and changes through our movements and our motions. Let's take an Om together, and this will also massage the vocal cords and activate into our thyroid and throat. Take a deep breath in. Om. And sigh. And blink your eyes to open, and this Kriya starts with your left hand in a fist, so thumb inside, fingers on top, and your right hand over top of that fist. Now you'll lock out your elbows, and you'll have an inhale up, exhale down, somewhat Bastrika-like, so powerfully up, powerfully down, like you're chopping wood. So this may get tiring, and if it does at any time, take a moment to pause, take a breath, sigh when you need to, and reset and rejoin. So close your eyes, locking out through the elbows. Start with the hands low. And then on your inhale, rise up. Exhale, down. Now it says here to stay at a moderate pace, to build the heat, the tapas energy in the body, to dispel any heavy energy. If you find you're not fully inhaling, take a moment to fully inhale, reset. For 5 more. And 1. Rest your hands in your lap. Take a deep breath in. Big sigh. Observe. Take water if you need to. And you'll feel how your heart rate has likely increased, more blood flow through the shoulders. Acknowledge the internal workings, and with gratitude for all that they do without you even noticing. Optional breath hold here. Steady breath in. Pause, chin, belly, root lock. Exhale with control. At the very bottom, chin, belly, root. Inhale with control to release. Sometimes that's the hardest part, as you want to gasp the breath. And sigh. Now, staying tall in your seat, take your right ear to your right shoulder. Now, something a little different here is we'll do a gentle Kapalabhati, sharp exhalations through the nose. Don't overwork this, but allowing there to be a clearing from the neck to the shoulder. So this drainage, part of the communication we know of our lymphatic, happens here through the neck. Keep the shoulders level, right ear to right shoulder, 20 pumps, half breath in, and begin. Exhale fully, stay here, breathe deeply in and deeply out through the nose. Relax the jaw. One more deep breath cycle. Take your right hand to your cheek and gently bring your head back on top. Take a clearing breath in. Big sigh. And then left ear gently falls towards left shoulder. Repeating like we did on the other side, 20 pumps, capilla body, relax the low belly. Half breath in and begin. Two, one. Take a clearing breath. Big sigh. Seal the lips. 3 solid breath of ujjayi, deep breathing. Like a clearing out for your throat. On your third one, take your left hand to your cheek and gently bring it back up to center. Clearing breath in. Big sigh. Chin to chest. So now compression, much like when we jalandhara, throat lock, we compress the gland in the throat. As you pull the chin down, head is heavy. Try not to slouch at all in your spine. And we'll do again 20 pumps, capilla body. Relax the belly. Half breath in. Begin. Three, two, and one. Stay here. This time, add your Brahmari breathing. So the buzzing bee here. Let the jaw drop. Let the tongue almost press gently up towards the roof of the mouth. Full breath in. Hum the bee. Again, inhale. Last one. Deep breath. Sigh. One hand to the forehead, back to center. And you'll take your hands to your chest, and to balance out, we'll stretch open the front. Now you're opening up the throat here. And before you lift your chin, in a moment, we're going to add in Jiv Bandha. And Jiv Bandha is suctioning the tongue to the roof of your mouth. It's kind of like when you have something stuck to the roof of your mouth, like thick peanut butter or something. And you're putting the tongue up there and then pulling it down with that little piece in the bottom of the throat. What you hold it there. It's the same if you went to go and cluck. So you'll add that in here in a moment. But pull down, lift your chin towards the ceiling, place the tongue on the roof of the mouth, swallow. Even that alone, you might feel that stretch or strain on the throat. Now place the tongue to the roof of the mouth and pull gently down with the tongue, suctioning it there. And you'll add in 6 Brahmari breath here. Take a breath in. Try to keep the tongue. If you need to reposition it, do so. Three more. Last one. And lean your heart forward. Let your head naturally come forward. Release your hands, breath in. Big sigh. Feel free to switch the cross of your legs at any time. Slowly look left. Exhale, look right. Return to center. Look up. And look down. Back to center. Bhastrika breath here with shoulder shrugs. So an inhale up, exhale down. And this is to help, again, clear all this space and the internal workings. Close the eyes through the nose. Inhale up, exhale down. 3, 2, and 1. Take a deep breath in and sigh. Option here for a breath hold. Stretching out through the arms, tall through your spine. Touch thumb and forefinger. Inhale for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Apply your locks. Jalandhara, Uddiyana, Mula Bandha. Steady exhale. Get empty, empty, empty. Chin, belly, root. Inhale with control. And sigh. Now we'll switch up the seat for this next piece, which is a lion's breath. If you can, sit up on your heels, otherwise simply switch the cross of your legs. Hands can either be on your knees or palms to the floor. So we'll do a little bit of a pull back inhale. Again, that creates compression on the front body. So not only the thyroid, the parathyroid and pineal glands. The pineal is in the center of the brain, so it's hard to necessarily compress it, but it creates flexion extension in the spine, which is part of that internal communication. Then you'll lift your chest, your chin, pull your shoulders back, stick out your tongue, open your mouth, and flush from your throat. So we'll do that 5 times. Take a breath in. Simha Mudra. In. 2 more. Sit tall, eyes closed, steady breath. Now staying on hips on heels if that's okay. Otherwise, adjust your seat. Hands interlock, pointer fingers together, thumbs crossed, arms overhead. Adding in our Sat Nam mantra, so Kapalabhati exhalation, so Sat Nam, Sat Nam. The thyroid collects truth and needs to be massaged to spill out is the comment here. So if we think about pressing from the low belly and clearing this space, allowing us to speak our truth, to be in our truth. Take a sigh. Close your eyes, gaze upward, half breath in, and begin. Sat Nam, Sat Nam. Keep going. for 3, 2, and 1. Breathe all the way up to your hands overhead. Sigh the hands to your lap. Swallow, lick your lips, take water if you need to. And knowing that that swallowing action is really great for that activation, the recognition of what's occurring through the throat. Energetically, as it says, it is a location that collects truth. And when we're, let's say, holding our truth, we're not speaking fully in it, this is where we can end up with throat challenges. So think of coughs and colds. Was once told to me a long time ago that a cough often acknowledges an unsaid truth. So it's like your energetic body is trying to speak its truth, but you're holding. And often, hence, the tongue is involved, because the term "hold your tongue" is recognition of what's occurring in this area. As you sit tall here, do some relaxing neck circles. So you can either just relax slowly, chin to chest, and just turn the head gently side to side, or if it feels good to go all the way up and over, let there be a relaxed state to your throat, your neck, your shoulders, your tongue, in front of your chest, the back of your shoulder blades. Continue as you're here, just sighing periodically as a spilling out of truths. And if you're doing full circles, make sure you go the other way in equal rotation. And pause at your center. Bring your palms together and rub them vigorously so you feel that there's an actual heat in your palms. Pressing as you're rubbing. Then you're going to take your hands to your throat. I like to go left hand, right hand. And as you hold here, and you're not clenching at all, you're just placing the hands. You could also turn the hands the other way, heels of the hands together, fingers to the neck, the back of the neck, like a turtleneck. Just breathe in and out, and like a Reiki massage, the type of massage actually doesn't even touch your body, which is moving the energy. You can't touch your thyroid, but you can send energy into it. Take a deep breath. Big sigh. Relax your jaw, relax the throat, eventually releasing your hands. You might feel that cool air flush your neck. Lie onto your back. So taking a minute to transition. And staying with a theme of communication through the body, we'll spend this practice in a number of rotational twists and compressions so that we're squeezing as best we can externally the internal body. If you're here just for the pranayama, you'll take your minute and rest, and perhaps move on with your day. Starting simply here with your feet coming up to flat, your arms drifting left and right. Let your knees fall heavy to the right side. Sigh as they land in that direction. Option to turn your head towards your left hand. So again, think of the neck, the throat gland. So in this rotation, there's some compression to the left side and great opening and it's stretched to the right side. And where you need to throughout the practice today, use the sigh to release the excess. So going back to that spilling out of truths, listening to what the body needs. And you'll bring your head and your knees back to center. Take a breath in. Knees all the way to the left. Breath out. Sigh there. Turning the chin towards your right side. Now this is a more open twist for the mid and lower body, but can really tug into the areas of where the tongue, funny enough, reaches all the way down to the big toe. So there is not just an energetic connection here, but a physiology connection from the tip of your tongue to the tip of your toe. Press into the feet, head to center, back to center with the knees. And now windshield wiper really slowly and subtly, not too far, left and right. So maybe a foot or two or a couple inches left and right. You'll feel the sacrum, the lower back, into the floor. And come to center, bring your knees into your chest. Pull your chin in, your forehead towards your knees, and squeeze your body into a little ball. Breath in, breath out, breath in, breath out. Shoulders back, compress chin in. Then let your head go down, let your tail go down, but catch the backs of your thighs. And you'll rock yourself now from shoulders to hips to come up about 3-4 times. So awakening that back body. And if the spine is communication from the brain to the rest of the body, we want to keep it flexible and moving. You'll come up and over into all fours. A simple cat-cow starting from your tail. Lift the tail, pull your ribs forward, soften your elbows, and lift your chin so your chest expands. And then exhale, round. Think compression here, chin in to chest. And then tail rises, opening up. Exhale, tail tucks. The very last lengthening here of the neck is chin into chest, compression, one more. Return to center, hands forward, one hand distance. Modified plank, tuck the toes, push the hips back and up, downward facing dog. Now for a moment here in our down dog, as you sink through your heels, soften in your knees, tip your tail a little bit higher, just like that cow spine, and then pull the front ribs slightly in and the pit of the belly in. And as you breathe, the pit of the belly might fluctuate slightly out and slightly in. And you have the ability, and sometimes upside down, we've talked about that Uddiyana, that bandha, pulling in and up of the low belly. If you exhale fully here, and then draw your chin in, belly in, you might feel you can draw the inner organs up underneath the rib cage. So we can do that upright seated, but sometimes it just feels interesting, and a bit of acknowledgement to do it upside down is also a bit easier. We have gravity on our side. Now from here, you'll step to the top of your mat. And we've got lots of blood flow in the crown of the head, so let's lift halfway, breath in. Bow it out. And then press to rise, go all the way up. Pull your hips over your heels, hands to heart center, ears over shoulders, steady gaze. If you get lightheaded, use the exhalation to get into your feet. Release your arms. Sweep up, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Modified flow, halfway lift. Left foot steps back to lunge, knee up or down. Reach up, inhale. Hands through heart center, exhale. Plant your palms. Step to plank, lower. Cobra or up dog if you're feeling it. And then rolling exhale back to downward facing dog. And as you get to the bottom of that exhale, think belly in and up, chin in. Then as you inhale, get longer, release the chin, release the belly. Bend your knees, look forward, step or hop, top of your mat. Halfway lift, breath in. Bow forward, breath out. Press to rise, reach up. And hands to heart center, hips over heels, lift the toes to check in. Release the arms. Let's do it again. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift. Right foot steps back, lunge, same as you did on the other side. Hands through heart center. Shifting forward, plant the palms. Step back to plank. Chaturanga, lower. Up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Empty the breath, pull the belly in and up, chin in. Inhale to release. Sigh. Stretch back, look forward. Step or hop, top of your mat. Halfway lift. Bow forward. Press to rise, go all the way up. Hips over heels, hands to heart center. Well, you may start to notice if you're practicing Uddiyana, that belly in and up, that your capacity for oxygen, for breath, is enhanced and greatly increased. Bring the big toes to touch, sweep up, inhale, sit back, exhale. Bring your palms together at your heart, elbows wide, and we'll take a twist this time, left elbow outside of right knee. So inhale big. Exhale fully, think of belly in and up. wrap. Now you're not going to hold that Uddiyana, but you're going to let it give you access to a greater twist. Your eyes can look down or to the side. Drop your hips and make sure your knees stay equal to each other. Often here, one knee wants to pull back. Make sure you equalize, weight in the heels. On your next inhale, untwist, bow forward. Open your feet, hip distance, that's about 2 fists. Peace fingers with your hands, hold your big toes, drop your hips, lift your heart, inhale. Lift your hips, bow forward, elbows wide, exhale. For 3. Wiggle out of your waist for 2. Think Uddiyana as you exhale, get longer. Even chin in here, a little compression for the thyroid. And on your next inhale, drop your hips, lift halfway. Exhale, bring your feet together. Rise up, inhale. Sit back, exhale. Hands to heart center, take a breath in. Full breath out, then twist. And once you're in the twist, your breath might be shorter, might be more compressed. There's not as much space because we're squeezing and limiting the internal access to the lungs, but we breathe as much as we can. If you think Uddiyana, a little bit of lift in your heart, a slight draw in of your chin. And as you inhale to untwist, bow forward. Open up your feet, hip distance. Option to do again, catch the big toes. If you can reach, slide your palms, backs of the hands to the floor, palms to the soles of your feet, gorilla pose. Now, if this feels really unbalanced, make sure you go back to holding the big toes. Drop the hips, lift the heart, pull your shoulders back, inhale. And then lift your hips, push the heels slightly apart as you exhale, chin into chest. Elbows wide, shoulders pull back. And every now and again, at the end of your exhale, pause the breath in and out and pull the belly in and up. See how you can gain more access to your low back. Now drop the hips, lift halfway. Carefully slide the hands out, toe heel your feet back together. Bow forward. And press to rise, go all the way up. Hands to heart center. And arms by your sides. Now let's add that modified flow with a twist. Reaching, inhale. Bow forward, exhale. Halfway lift. Left foot steps back. I'd start knee down and then we'll bring the knee back up. Bring your hands overhead, then hands to heart. Hinge forward, inhale. Think of the exhale. Then elbow over the knee, creating that space in your low belly. Now you can stay right here. This is a great rotation. If you want to add a little bit of the back leg lift, push your heart up and forward. So try not to draw the knee halfway up, go all the way up or down. Keep encouraging your ribs over to the right. Even if you feel a little wobbly, it's good for the brain, the communication that's happening without even thinking. And untwist, plant the palms, step to plank. And that's a big flush for that right side. Breath it in, lower, breath out. Up dog or cobra, breath in. Releasing breath out. Press up and back. Take a moment here. Sigh. Belly in and up. Inhale. Lift the heels, look forward. Step or hop forward. Halfway lift. Bow it through. Press to rise, go up. And hands to heart center. We'll match the other side. Sweep up, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Halfway lift. Right foot steps back. Start with knee down, reach. Unless you feel really balanced this morning, you can keep that knee lifted. Then inhale, come forward, get long. Exhale, all the breath, belly in and up. Create your lock here first, so you're coming into the twist, and then apply the breath again. Option to just stay here or push off your back foot, which is sending your heart up towards your thumb tips and rotating your left ribs a little more on top of your right. Get on your next inhalation, untwist. Exhale, plant the palms, step to plank. Take a breath in first. Lower halfway or all the way. Cobra or up dog. Releasing, exhale. Press up and back, empty of breath, belly in and up. And then sigh, or inhale and sigh. Bend the knees, look forward, step or hop. Halfway lift. Bow it through. And then press to rise, go all the way up. And hands to heart center. Now we'll turn to face the long edge of the mat. If you have a block or a water bottle, go ahead and grab it. And you'll step a little bit wider than hip distance, but not to your fullest width. So we're going to play here with pyramid and compression. So from a wide stance, you'll pivot your toes to the left to start. So left toes coming around and right toes coming around. Now, if you feel like you're on the tightrope, go a little bit wider so that you're not here, you're more warrior one style. So you've pivoted around. The block can be on the floor inside the front foot. And feel anchored through your back heel, your right heel, as much as you are through your front foot. Now, if the knees are locked or front knee is locked, unlatch it. Take your right arm up and your left hand into your left hip. Reach on the inhale. Reach out of the waist as you exhale. And eventually your right hand onto the block or the floor. Maybe you have a nice long reach, but we're starting with lengthening of the spine. So what can happen here is you push so much off your right foot, your right hip comes down. So I want you to push into your left foot till you feel your hips get a little more level. You might even place both hands on your hips to feel that. Soften your front knee. Now we're halfway down and we're going to create some articulation through the spine, so that cat spine. Now that's why I like to use the hand on the floor, because you can push down into it or into the block and curl inward. And you're going to tuck your tail slightly here. So you'll feel that shift in the front of your hip. And then get lower with your forehead, but keep that rounding and bring your forehead towards your shin or your knee. And bring your fingertips to the floor between your feet. So very likely once you get into that curl, you'll be able to touch the ground and then push off the ground. So you're creating a bigger arc in your spine, and tuck your chin in snug here, compressing the thyroid gland. Now the hand behind your
You could place a hand behind your head and give yourself a little assist to go a little bit further and deeper in little sips of breath here. Equal in, equal out. If you can bend the knee a little and make the forehead and the knee connect, or the shin and the knee connect, and then use your head to push that leg straighter, work on that. Now you'll come out lengthening. So you're lifting back to the halfway point. Inhale. Stay on the exhale, hand into your hip just for stability. And then you'll leave the floor, and let's bring the block or water bottle, whatever you've got. And you'll come up and over to the other side, and you can switch the block to the other side. As you pivot your feet, go a little wider so that you feel really balanced. The block can already be there. Right thumb into the front of your right hip, the left arm straight up. Notice if you're overcompensating with your left hip forward. Straight legs, soften the front knee. Inhale long, exhale out of your waist. When you get partway down, that's where bending the knee can really help find length in your spine. And stay here for breath or 3. Making those minor adjustments. You might lower your block. You might heighten your block. If you don't have a block, use your shin. You can start below the knee and gradually move down towards the foot. Notice if you're over articulating left hip forward. Bring both hands maybe to your hips for a moment. And then lengthen down. And then push into the ground with your front foot in your left hand and curl into this compression of the front body. So right from your tail to the back of the neck, getting longer, chin coming in, and your forehead towards your knee or your shin. And that's where your hands can transition to the floor. One for balance. So you're not putting a lot of weight in your fingers, but if you push off the ground, you might feel ability to articulate more through the back body. Little sips of breath. Use one hand to help articulate the chin in a little further. Now slowly begin to lift up to halfway. Front knee is soft, hand into your hip. Press down. Come all the way up and around. Now to wide-legged straddles. So you'll open your feet maybe a little bit wider. If you've got your block, great. If you don't, it's on the floor. You'll reach for it here in a moment. Hips come back. You reach the floor easily, use the floor. Block comes underneath. Maybe widen a little bit further here. Halfway lift, breath in. Pull your hips back further and then exhale, let your heart and head drift down. Now I like to have a prop here, even though I can reach the floor with my hands. It's a nice place to rest your forehead or the top of your head. So when you're getting close to the floor, but not quite there, a little touch point can be just helpful in your access where you're headed. So eventually you might find your head between your feet, but on the floor. But if it feels too far, let it rest on something in between. And your fingertips can be aligned with your toes, right underneath your elbows. Push down and slightly forward. Feel your hips come more over your heels. And walk your hands out in front. As you lift halfway, pull the weight back into your heels, your hips actually drift back. Get lighter in your hands, hands to hips, and come all the way up. Yeah, toe heel your feet towards each other. And come back to the top edge of your mat. Final flush here. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bow forward. Halfway lift. Step back and lower. Inhale, cobra. And exhale, downward dog. Uddiyana at the bottom. Inhale to release. And big sigh. Lower to your knees and come into a seated position. We'll do a tall seat here for a final twist, right leg over left. Wrap your right knee with your left arm. Consider in here also you're drawing the belly in and up. So if you think of your Uddiyana, exhale fully, belly in and up. Rotate a little further, then inhale again. So you're gaining that little bit more access, and it might be subtle, but it might be quite extensive if you've never done it before. And it's just giving more space for your low back and your ribs. Come all the way back around. Pause at center, breath in. Sigh. So bringing that deep release. Other side. And you are welcome to tuck the other foot underneath, but if you kept it out on the other side, keep it out on this side. Right arm wraps. Take a breath in. Breath out fully. Uddiyana, belly in and up. A little more rotation, then inhale again. On your next inhalation, come around, breath in, sigh. And take a minute to lie down. A wonderful rinsing heading into your weekend, or whenever you've done this as a recording, moving through the rest of your day and your week ahead. Your arms fall apart, your feet rest. Sigh complete. You've done the outer work to let the inner body reignite, rebalance. I very much recommend staying here a little longer if you can.
If knowingly you have somewhere to head off to, move mindfully and slowly in that direction. You can roll to one side and eventually up to a tall seat. And bring your hands to heart center for a final chant of Om. Inhale. Om. Namaste.